Mr. Speaker, this opportunity afforded me to comment on this motion. And in commenting on the motion, I would make certain observations, which observation to me renders the whole exercise by the applicant odious, and that it is only aimed at going very political against the Minister of Finance, and the grounds upon which they relied to proceed indeed was political. And it's obvious from the conduct of the proponent, including the co-chair who just seconded the motion. Mr. Speaker, in the words of the co-chair of this motion, he argues that the committee is not a quasi-judicial body. Neither is it an administrative body, but that the committee is engaged in a political process. These were his words. So, Mr. Speaker, it is now up to us as a House to ask a question whether a mere political process is a means of indicting a public officer. Mr. Speaker, this is a committee that could not come out with findings of fact in the words of the co-chair who seconded the motion. Where are your findings? You said that you have unassailable evidence. You said that you've heard from the proponent. Suffice to say that you yourself, you were a judge in your own cause. You were a member of the group that applied to Mr. Speaker to move this motion, and then you also sat as a co-chair of the committee. That is what happened. And then you are telling us that you could not come out with findings of fact. The lawyer in you prevented you from saying something negative, but the politician in you compelled you to say that the minister should leave office. Mr. Speaker, clearly, all your allegations had no leg to stand. All your allegations stood on stilts, and you yourself, you were candid. Honorable Dr. Ayeni, you were so candid in your submission when you said that you were relying on Dor Ajaho ruling, which ruling has stopped this House from considering a matter grounded in Article 287 of the Constitution, conflict of interest. If that is the case, if you know that there's a ruling that outs the jurisdiction of this House when it comes to conflict of interest, why then did you proceed to make comments on conflict of interest? Why then didn't you advise your colleagues that issue of conflict of interest could not be part of your grounds before this House? Mr. Speaker, I dare contend that should we proceed to vote on this matter, we will be setting a bad precedent. We will be setting a bad precedent which will come to haunt this House one day. Because, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of State, the Finance Minister, has not been indicted in any way. What will be the basis for a vote? What will be the basis for a vote when a committee is unable to come out with a finding to indict him, which is the basis for what we call a prima facie in law? Mr. Speaker, the former Deputy Attorney General, who was privileged to be a co-chair, knows his law, and he knows that the law that he celebrates so much allows him to do that which is just, fair, and right. In his own words, he said that the committee's work was not in any way bound by Article 23. Did I hear him right? You are saying that a matter that you are indicting your fellow citizens in public office, you are not bound by Article 23. What else would you be bound by?